This is Electric Universe Eyes, and today I'm feeling a little crazy because I went to Dinosaur Valley State Park yesterday and saw dino footprints in limestone. And I'm wondering, you know what, how the heck, if they are 105 million years old, how is it not eroded away? Why is it so hard? That rock was very hard. I've got a piece of limestone. I got this maybe 20 minutes south of Dinosaur Valley State Park sometime last year. And it's a limestone. You can see there's all kinds of calcite and looks like some ocean organisms, all kinds of things, little calcite crystals. I'm gonna crush this up, make this into a little light mud, put this little baby doll footprint in it, in the mud, and then I'm gonna try to run electricity through it to see if I can make a footprint fossil. So, what I'm going to use as the base here is this wall mud here, which is primarily made mostly out of limestone with some other things. And then I'm going to use that, fill in all of this around the edges to make a kind of a small area where I can focus on putting this limestone mud in it before I make an impression. Let's give it a shot. All right, I think that's good. I was gonna use, this just has so much other stuff in it. It's not as true to what I saw out there in the riverbed. So this has very little calcite in it from what I can see. Interesting surface features there though, but this is the one I'm gonna crush up and use. Let's crush this up now. Essentially just taking this old dirty towel and gonna use it to keep all of that rock there when I crush it with a hammer. All right, I got some work to do. I'm gonna crush this. Whew, this is hard work and it's still chunky. So that's the first question I have is, what was this mud? The Cretaceous level that they're saying the dinosaurs left their footprints in is, what made this mud in the first place? That's a good question. And how did it get made? Man, that's a lot of work. Okay, I've got some fine dust in there, but I'm gonna keep working on it. Moved it over to the concrete.
Modern pestle, I could probably get this done quicker, but I use that for cooking, so I'm not gonna. So do this the old-fashioned way. Smash. Hulk mad! Hulk smash! What archetype is the Hulk anyway? Is that supposed to be the Green Lion? Is that supposed to be Hermes? Mercury? Somebody's also a bird. I don't know. Jeez, everything looks like an archetype to me. Oh, this is such a pain in the butt.
All right, so now, it's not extremely fine, but it's good enough for me. We're gonna put this in here and try to make some mud out of real limestone versus fake limestone, right? Oh, goodness. All right, so here's my base. There is quite a bit of fine powder in there with some chunks in there too, so I just want to get it just a little bit muddy, something that's more like a patty cake type of mud. Not anything that's really significantly wet. Something a dinosaur or a human could mush around in their teeth. But you know what? We're gonna find out what happens just with this, okay? It's just for fun. Let's do it. So, all right, I've got this guy now, and we're just gonna pour it right in here, like so. All right. All right, so I have no idea what the original viscosity of this mud stuff was, but that's what I got. All right, so this is crushed limestone that I crushed myself on top of some drywall mud, which is also made out of mostly limestone. So let's take this giant baby foot And we're going to push it into the mud. Like, I'm running, push down with the heel and the foot. Oh, all right, cool. There's my impression. That's what it looks like. All right, so y'all see my baby foot? There you go. Here's the actual bottom of the foot so you can see it. There's my footprint. So naturally this would fill up with water and all that good stuff around it. So let's now try to discharge into it and just see what happens. All right, and let's start this up. 10,000 volts AC. All right, so that's gonna be long and dramatic. I really need more power to just go and do what I think happened to be able to solidify all those dinosaur tracks across the world that fast. But my other idea now is I'm gonna make an arc, go to the left side, and just see if that helps this process. Try to show you something here. Bright light. It's way bright. I can't even see down in it. Oh, I mean, I can without the camera, but it's a bunch of little filaments and spirals glowing down in there. I thought was pretty cool. All right, let's go back to this. All right, it's been 35 minutes. I think I'm gonna give up for today, and I'm gonna let this dry out some. I'll come back, and once it's all dried, I don't know if I'll discharge to it again. I'll definitely get some close-ups. I'm noticing a lot of bubbling coming off of that little filament on the microscope, and it's making me think now that electricity is extracting water from other areas under the surface through these channels where this energy is pulling from. And in doing so, it's extracting minerals with it and separating minerals. And I can see clearly off of this little bubbling tip of this filament sticking off the wall that it's vaporizing the water off. So it makes me think, what if this is actually how crystals are formed? And it is intense heat and intense pressure, but it doesn't require something being stacked on top of it and gravity. It requires electric discharge and reorganization of material and availability of water and vaporization of water and that organization and extraction of materials. Just by looking at this, I see things a lot differently than I did before. And I don't know what's right or wrong, but it's obvious with an arc welder or electricity can do lots of things that we use in our daily lives, and we take that for granted, and we don't question anything. As long as the electricity's on and the internet works, we don't care about anything else, right? care about the wrong things is the problem. Well, this has been fun. Do you see my baby foot? It looks like it's starting to dry out. And if I let this go, I bet it would carve a little channel all the way through the middle of the footprint where the arch is. But it's now been almost 40 minutes. I think I'm going to call it quits for today and come back later. Just see, every time I go to stop, something else happens, and the microscope is just doing this crazy surface bubbling again on that one little right filament. I just, looking at this microscope view makes me think of cave systems and a current connecting into the cave and underneath the ground, and it's forming all these weird passageways and things that we see, that we say, well, it's got to be millions of years of water erosion. But there's many geological features across the planet that don't make sense when you consider that's the only thing they're working with. And they never consider the force of electricity. But it's everywhere around us. Earth ground is ground for a reason. That's where electricity goes to. It's looking for ground. That's why in electrical engineering it's called earth ground. If you don't ground something, you're going to get a big shock, and there's going to be a fire. People are going to die because you need to get it into the earth, where the telluric currents will take that and dissipate it into the ground. Here, obviously, we have an arc to earth materials, and it is definitely affecting what this material is doing, how it's reorganizing. Even as I'm sitting here talking, the area that I was concerned with is no longer discharging to it or bubbling up. Huh. All right, I'm gonna call it quits right now. Still got a nice glow on the microscope where all that was just really hot. Wow, it looks really awesome. I think I'm going to pull this electrode out. Pull this other one off. Well, I'll just let it sit there. I don't care. I might come back to this. So, all those, it's really hot in here. So it's way hot. I am not going to get anywhere near that right now. I'll move the microscope around a little bit so you can see some things. It's like rock's got a patina from the smoke coming off. I love those bubbles. I hope those stay in there. I'm gonna come back and look at that under the microscope in detail. That might be pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna let this cool off and come back. All right, so I had to stop anyway because my phone was starting to overheat from the intense heat coming out of this. I still feel lots of heat coming off of this. There, you can still see my baby footprint. Doesn't prove anything. I'm not really trying to prove anything, I guess. I just wanted to play around with my crazy ideas. Anyway, that's pretty awesome. That is half limestone that I chopped up, and then mud that you just put on your wall, plaster. And that makes some pretty cool little features in there. So I'll throw the microscope view up All right, perhaps I will come back and do a round 2 again. Thanks for hanging. Bye.